Hello, first tonight, a mother accused of killing her daughters told a teacher she wished one of them was dead.
The claim came today in the trial of Rekha Kumari Baker. She denies the murder of her two daughters, Davina and Jasmine, at their home at Streatham near Ely. Also giving evidence today, the GP, who said the family appeared to be light-hearted and happy just 2 days before the attack. Our Home Affairs correspondent Sally Chidzoy was in court.
Well, Stuart, this has been day 3 of the trial at Cambridge Crown Court, and the focus in court number 1 has very much been on the relationship between the defendant and her 2 young daughters. And some of the evidence has come from those who came into close contact with the family, including teachers. Teacher Stephanie Franklin told the jury that an argument broke out during a meeting with the defendant, during which the mother remarked that she wished her daughter Davina was dead. The teacher says she replied, "You don't mean that, Rekha. That is a really extreme thing to say. You are her mother." She said Rekha Kumari Baker stated, "I do mean that." She then turned to Davina and said, "I wish you were dead." The Impington Village College teachers said the defendant could be aggressive and dictatorial. The prosecution alleges that the mother killed her daughters in a frenzied knife attack in order to wreak havoc on her ex-husband David Baker. He gave evidence yesterday, coming face-to-face with his former wife for the first time since the killings 2 years ago. He was back in court today to follow the trial. The court heard that Davina had alleged that her mother had hit her, and social workers became involved. Staff at Impington Village College became concerned about Davina's well-being, and Kumari Baker was advised that Davina should stay with her father. The family's GP, David Toos, told the court he'd seen the defendant and her younger daughter Jasmine 36 hours before the killings. Jasmine had problems with a persistent cough. He said mother and daughter appeared light-hearted. Both seemed happy. Jasmine was laughing and giggling. He said he had held concerns about the mother and daughters and had sought to gain an overview from social services. Shortly after leaving his surgery, the defendant visited Asda in Cambridge, where the prosecution say she bought the knives that were used to kill the girls. Now, Kumari Baker is mounting a diminished responsibility defence, arguing that she was suffering from an abnormality of mind, which makes her guilty of manslaughter but not murder. Now, tomorrow the jury is expected to hear from medics involved in this case. Now, back to you.
Very much.
There was anger today from commuters who face more misery on our trains. The train drivers' union ASLEF has rejected a deal and will walk out from Monday the 21st of September for 5 days in a row. In a moment we'll hear from the union themselves, but first this report from Anjana Gadgil.
Rail commuters thought they'd seen the end of empty platforms after a series of strikes in the summer crippled the rail network for 2 days at a time. But now ASLEF has voted to go on strike again. From September the 21st, passengers face a working week where nothing works.
There's no way round this at all. I can't really see why they're going on strike at all.
It will be a complete nuisance, to be fair, getting back and forth to work. It does completely mess up your day.
If there are no alternative transports, then we would definitely have a problem.
I probably won't go, which is going to be a nuisance.
The strikes will affect National Express East Anglia services into London Liverpool Street and across the country. And it's not just the 200,000 daily passengers who'll be affected. Taxi drivers and business owners in Ipswich told me off camera today that they sympathise with the drivers, but 5 days without custom will take their toll. ASLEF drivers have turned down an offer of a 4% pay rise, which the other unions have accepted. They say the sticking points are rostering and industrial relations. National Express calls it totally unjustified. It hopes that further talks will pay off. In August, a skeleton service operated. The company hasn't released details yet, but it's hoping not to see scenes like this again. Anjana Gadgil for BBC Look East.
Well, this afternoon I spoke to Simon Weller from ASLEF, and I began by asking him why his union had rejected the offer.
Well, after we'd done a straw poll of our members, it became clear that there were some fundamental problems with parts of the productivity. It's worth bearing in mind that we are paying for our own pay rise. And part of these, because of the atmosphere of mistrust and the way that National Express managers are managers, it was felt that it would be better not to go ahead with certain aspects of that productivity.
We keep getting nods and winks from the unions about industrial relations with this company. Can you give us an example?
we're regulated by agreements, and some of the agreements that we have are, we're not particularly keen on, but we made those agreements and we all stick to them. The company constantly break agreements. We've got agreements on how we're allocated work and rostered to trains and such like, and they'll just undermine them and they'll just change them or just basically don't stick to them. But whereas if we didn't stick to our side, then we'd be in problems in short order. And it's just this level of mistrust and mismanagement.
Why is it then the other unions that were in dispute with them have accepted it?
Well, I'm not in a position to speak for the other unions, but it's certainly the message I've got from our members, and ASLEF represents all the train drivers on National Express. It's been very, very clear that the offer that was made isn't acceptable.
So you obviously will be concerned that this is going to cause great disruption to the travelling public for a whole week.
Yes, it's not something that we embark on lightly. One of the problems we've had is we've been trying to resolve this pay and the industrial relations issues for a number of years now. And it's just got to a stage where we think we've got things sorted. We'll have crisis meetings. We had one a few months ago, and it was all sorted out. And then, back as far as National Express are concerned, it's business as usual, and they're not sticking to our agreements and not sort of having proper negotiations with our representatives.
So if National Express come to you and say, we promise that we will abide by all of the things that we have agreed with you, you will happily call off your strike?
Yeah, we're very keen to meet with National Express because we need to resolve this issue.
Mr Weller, thank you very much. Now, we put those points to National Express East Anglia this afternoon. They did not want to comment specifically on the issues raised, but they say they are planning further talks with ASLEF to settle the dispute.
And if you're a train driver or you use the trains on a regular basis and have a story to tell, you can call us on 08457 630 630 or email via the website.
Well, still with trains, the RMT union says it could ballot its members at London Midland trains over strike action. The problem is pay and conditions. Last week, the company was forced to cancel all the Sunday services in this region when the staff refused to work because they wouldn't be paid double time. The company has agreed to pay the double time for the time being, but the union says there's still a question about the number of drivers who will work this Sunday.
Coming up later in the programme,